Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am creating another reviewable card with the crazy antics this time, so some mice. I'm using some different SEM sets, you will see later on why, but for today I am using the Puffy Cloud add-on for this review wheel. So first of all, I stamped out my images on Neenah 110 using my Gina K Design Amalgam ink because I am going to color with my Copic markers. So as you know, there are different ways of coloring with Copic markers. Today I am first adding my darkest color, then go in with my mid-tone, and in the end I finish with my lightest color. There are different ways, as I told you. It's just your preference, what you feel comfortable with. But there are, for example, some color families that I find difficult to blend, like the purple ones, and those I really go first in with the lightest color and then to the darkest, and I build back again. But it's really preference, what feels good and stuff like that. So there are different ways. I try to use them all just to keep practicing them, but you can truly choose what you want to do. So I'm putting the caps on the side, and I will be back after the coloring. Now that the coloring is done, I am using the matching dies to die cut all the elements, and then I can continue with my background. So for my background, I must say that I first die cut that panel of the reveal wheel a few times, so that I could also die cut some grassy borders out of the bottom of each extra piece, and therefore I use the grassy hillside borders. And I'm just blending my colors on top of it, being the peeled paint and the crushed olive. Afterwards, I am also splattering the darkest color on top of my borders. The same I will do with my sky. First blending both colors and then splattering with the darkest one. I must say, for the sky, normally I try to blend it really smoothly, but I really wanted to create a realistic sky without using any stencils, because I wanted to add some clouds to my background later on. So I went really roughly this time, trying to get multiple sort of gradients of blue, and then I am splattering with the darkest color. So now that is finished, I can continue with my reveal wheel. I want to have those clouds that you will see changing to have a soft blue glow on the bottom, so I blended blue in the middle of my reveal wheel, and now I am continuing with my sentiment. For the sentiment, I am going to heat emboss it, so I am using my Versamark clear embossing ink. And the embossing powder that I'm using today is the Nouveau embossing powder Glacier White. As I told you before, and I will keep saying it, it's truly an amazing embossing powder. When you heat set it, it melts really smoothly, so that's adorable, but don't use it for fine prints. That wouldn't work out that pretty, but the Fawn script is just perfect. So on the review wheel, I wanted to have some faces, so therefore I'm taking those from the birthday before and afters, and also from the Let's Toast. I don't know if you noticed it, but I adhered this template with some washi tape. Unfortunately, I adhered this template wrong. So there are two sides. These clouds aren't symmetrical. So later on you will see that there was a little freak moment. Because I adhered my templates wrong, but I'm using faces, so that's not a big deal. If you would have used some sentiments, some small words, that could be more damaging. So if you're using this template and the die, please check your die before adhering the template so that it's on there perfect and not on the other way around. I'm using the same ink as for my images, Gina K Design Amalgam ink, and I'm stamping out these faces. Next up, I am already assembling my reveal wheel so that I can easily add it to my card base later on. So for the reveal wheel, I'm using a bread. It's a pergamano bread. And with my last card, the pergamano bread turned when I turned my review wheel, and sometimes I could see those little legs, if you can call it legs, I don't know how you say it. So I snipped a piece off of it. This way it couldn't show up anymore. Not that it is always the case, but just to prevent that. For my background behind my panel, I am using this amazing pen and paper again, Spring Fling, and I just cut out a piece sized A2, and I am adhering it with permanent print adhesive roller. And then I can start assembling this card as well as my whole panel. So here I saw that my template was wrong. I turned it, and then I could use a template to really line up my review wheel behind my panel. I use some extra washi tape before adding it to my card base, so that I don't have to bother keeping everything in place with my hands, and I can just line everything up without being worried. And then it's time to start adding everything to my background. So therefore I'm using some different sizes of foam squares as well as some liquid glue. So after adhering all my clouds, I decided to use my Wink of Stella to add some glitter on top of them. And it had been a while since I had used it. So yeah, I am adding here my clouds, and with my Wink of Stella I had some trouble. On my second cloud that I am adding it decided to just flow out of this pen all at once, the glitter. It came on my background and I totally freaked out. So here it happened, a lot of glitter. I couldn't get it off of my background. I thought I could lift it up again, but no. To get myself back to some sort of a calm space, I decided to first go to the third cloud, and then I wanted to cover it up. So I am taking another cloud that I die cut, and I am going to adhere it on my background to cover as much of the mistake as possible. What I forgot was to blend some of that broken china on the bottom as well. And you will not see it in the video, but I did it when everything was dry. I just added a bit of that broken china so that in the end my card still has the blue on the bottom of each cloud. So spacing of the clouds now was a bit off in my opinion, so I tried to add a fourth cloud to sort of balance it out. Yeah, still not happy with that as well. So the solution I am bringing later on is to use some Nuvo drops. So aside from replacing that one cloud, adding a fourth one, I am also adding the Nuvo Crystal Drops Duck Egg Blue. And then, in my opinion, it sort of distracted from the fact that the placement of the clouds was a bit off. So I hope that you think it helped too. And I don't know if you were bothered by placement of the clouds, but I was. So just for myself, I had to figure something out. I am using my stencil again, taping it down to get my foam squares in place. And then I am removing the backings and adding this to my card base. Like this. And then the only thing left was to really get that arrow going, and then of course my Nuvo drops that I told you before. And then this card is finished. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video, that you learned some of my mistakes, so that you won't have to go through the panic mode. For the rest, I'm hoping that you really like this card design, of course. If you like it, you can always give this video a thumbs up. I would truly appreciate it. And for the rest, I am truly hoping that I will see you back again next time. Bye!